and connect with athletes and experts and explore new ways to stay active and independent. It's a space for adaptive sports enthusiasts to learn, share experiences, and build community, engaging in lively discussions about a wide range of recreational activities. And tonight we are focusing on adaptive hunting. So this session is all about sharing the adaptive techniques, equipment, and kind of the creative problem solving that makes hunting uh, accessible. So whether it's navigating rough terrain, staying stable for a shot, or finding the right support programs to get out into the field. We have a great lineup of guests joining us tonight, including adaptive hunters Brian Briggs and Ryan Harrison, who will be sharing their personal experiences, setups, and what's worked for best for them in the outdoors. We're also excited to welcome Dustin Berf from Golden Opportunities Unlimited, a nonprofit that creates adaptive outdoor recreation and adventure opportunities so people can experience freedom from their disabilities. Go Unlimited also provides therapeutic recreation, SDI support groups, peer mentoring, and a variety of adaptive sport programs across New England. Um, so if Megan, do you want to pop up the active project on screen? Um, we um, so the active project is kind of Kelly Brush's digital resource for all things adaptive sports and recreation. This is where you can discover sports, find places to try them, connect with peers. We have informational videos on dozens of sports, hundreds of organizations and their events, forums, messaging, equipment information, and a lot much more. So please sign up so you can take advantage of all those resources. We always need help to make this resource as comprehensible as possible. So please feel free to email us at activeproject@kellybrushfoundation.org with any thoughts or additions on how we can make the Active Project a better resource for you. Um, yes, we also have a grant finder, which, oftentimes adaptive equipment is expensive, but there is lots of grants out there that can help you purchase these equipment. So, depending on your disability or other requirements, and specific kind of programs and expense that you're looking to cover, you can narrow it down and filter those to find the right grant for you.
Well, if
Um,
anyone ever has any other questions about the Active Project, you can ask me. And especially on after this call, I'll be uploading it to the page as well for other users to learn more about it. So thank you.
yes. And I'm gonna post in the chat um, our email and the link to the Active Project. We also record these discussions and upload them onto our Kelly Brush Foundation YouTube channel. So you can look at those to check out others that we have previously recorded and topics we've discussed. Um, so our goal is to create a conversation that's open, engaging, and inspiring. So please feel free to ask questions and share your experiences. Everyone's perspective is valuable, and we can all learn from each other. So we'll start by hearing from each of our guests, Brian, Ryan, and Dustin, and then we'll open up the conversation so everyone can participate, whether you're an experienced hunter or someone who's just curious about getting started. So I'd love to let I don't know if Dustin's here, but quite yet, but Brian and Brian, could you guys introduce yourselves and kind of maybe start by sharing what hunting looks like for you and where you hunt?
Yeah, I guess I'll go first. Hi everybody, I'm Brian Briggs. I live up in Vail, Colorado, so up in the mountains, and I'm a C4, C5 quadriplegic, and I was injured back in 2022. Um, I grew up doing a ton of hunting, so it's kind of as soon as I got injured, it was one of the things I was always looking into and trying to see what I could do. And I've been fortunate enough to get out already a couple of times this year too. And for me, what it looks like a lot of times is I have a track chair. So I was able to do a fundraiser, get money to purchase one of the track chairs. And that allows me to get out on trails that almost no other chair could take you on and gives you a little bit of a sense of freedom, which I really like. And then for a gun setup, I use it's like I think it's called B adaptive equipment gun mount. And since I don't have great function of my hands or arms, it uses like a joystick system and a sip and puff to shoot. But it's been a learning curve of all sorts of things on how to make it stable, make it work properly, and all that. But definitely a learning curve.
Well, thank you. I feel like what I've come to learn after my injury is I'm thinking I'm gonna get on a piece of equipment and figure it out pretty quickly. And there's always a steep
Yeah,
learning curve in terms of one, how to use the equipment. It's always much harder than it looks. And then
definitely.
like finding exactly the right setup or additional kind of tape or cushioning or just navigating all of that and finding the little t tiny tweaks that you need to make. Um,
Yeah, and
it's
with the track chair, it took a long time to get comfortable driving around in it because it's super wobbly and bouncy and getting to the point where you feel comfortable going up a steep hill or going down a steep hill, and especially up in the mountains. I've taken it on some dirt roads and off the trail a little bit where it's a little scary at times and just getting to the point where you feel oh, it's not gonna tip,
oh
basically.
gosh.
But I've gotten used to it eventually.
It is like a scary feeling, especially being far out in the woods, like kind of knowing what the limits are on that chair.
Yeah.
People.
And I've tested the limits a little bit
Mhm.
and put it on some pretty steep hills and rolled it over some big rocks and logs, and it still hasn't tipped, so I'm pretty impressed, honestly.
Hmm.
But it's scary for sure.
Good
I
for
bet I've
pushing
tried it out one time, but it was not that too rough of terrain. So
It's pretty impressive what they can do. It's
yeah.
awesome.
Um, well, Ryan, we'd love to hear from you. And two, have you tried the track chair? And speaking of,
No, I've never. So Missouri Disabled Huntsman or Sportsman is a local Missouri nonprofit that helps disabled people get out back out there outdoors. And they worked with the Missouri Department of Conservation. And I think they've got like 5 track chairs to use, but I've never used one because every time I look at it, I'm just like, that is one uncomfortable looking transfer. And it's and I'm a pretty big guy too, so I'm not big on people hurting themselves trying to help me out to do that. But I also the only thing that I've really the only thing I really have a lot of experience with on that end is like bird hunting stuff, right? Like I don't do I'm not really interested in the deer and like that kind of stuff where you just like sit around and wait, like it just sounds like super boring. But like with like at least with like pheasants, quails, and that kind of thing, you can just kind of roll around this giant field, and the dogs point out the birds, and then they flush them, and then you shoot them, and then it's you don't you can be talking and making jokes, and you don't have to be quiet the whole time, right? Like it's pretty not like shh, if you blink wrong they'll hear you, right? Like it's not anything like that, but it's a ton of fun, and there's a lot of organizations that'll help get you out there, even if they're not from your state too. Like I know the Montana crew, they you don't have to be a Montana resident to go hunt there, or some of the other ones. So there's a lot of cool resources. So if you're thinking of doing it and you haven't done it yet, and even if like myself, I didn't hunt pre spinal cord injury, so it's something that I didn't know much about. But I was shooting a lot of clays, like trap and stuff. So it was pretty natural with that, and decided to just go for it. And here I am, I guess, eyeballing a snow goose hunt if I can, if it's not crazy cold and I can make it work. And like January, February, I think is when that happens, but it'll be stupid cold, I'm sure.
Yeah. And do you use any like adaptive setup for your gun or
So not with a gun. I'm fortunate in the fact that I'm a para, right? So I get to rub it in and do this, right? But it is a the gun setup is just the shotgun. I prefer an over under because you can put it on your shoulder, or a really light 20 gauge if it's going to be a semi. Just because if you're lugging that thing around by yourself, you don't want a ton of weight plus pushing. And the setup that I have two setups. I've only used one. I have a grit chair that I got with the Kelly Brush grant. So shout out to that program.
good?
And then I also the one that I did this last time that worked out really well is I have a what is it the freedom wheel, is that what it's called, the one that like the little outrigger that goes to your
Oh yeah.
that lifts up your front casters. So I have one of those, and I've got a wheel swap that I did, like a set of mountain bike tires, and you just swap them out and go for it. It was a little muddy, so while I could push decently, I did have some friends when I got too stuck or we were going too slow to get me out of whatever predicament I found myself in. But it's there's definitely track chairs are super cool, but you don't necessarily need it to get out there if you've got some friends and a way to get your front casters off the ground in a manual chair. So
Yeah, that's great tips as well.
yeah, I am not anti Trax chairs, but I am interested. I just found out earlier this year about the Freedom Tracks. So like you roll your manual chair on them, and then they're just the
Oh
smaller.
yeah.
Those things look sick. I want to. The Indiana Dunes National Park has them. You can go try it out, and I've been wanting to get up there. It's only like 4 hours away, but that's also another idea with some of the equipment, especially if it's obviously the firearm aspect is one thing, but when it comes to the adaptive equipment to get you out there, there's all kinds of places to try it. I know at least when I did the Grit with you guys, Grit sent me one out for a trial because they didn't have one close to me. So
Oh, that's
they shipped me
awesome.
out a demo, and then I shipped it back, and then of course they're like, hey, now that you've tried it, do you like it? And then they did the grant for that.
That's really
And then there's other ones you can do too. Like I know Rocky Mountain National Park has a few grit chairs to try. So really just look into the equipment and see if some of the national parks or something has it. And, they're not necessarily the easiest things to get to sometimes, but they have them, and you
Right.
can try, it's at least free to try. So,
And then you can, yeah, and then you can get your own. But having
yeah,
that,
for sure. Yeah, I
is
mean,
helpful
obviously,
to be right in your application when you apply to get your own.
yeah,
That's
for
what we
sure.
look for anyways, too. You got to try it before you get the grant for it. So
Yeah.
uh, that's awesome.
And yeah, the freedom, what was it called? Freedom
Freedom
tracks, right?
tracks. Yeah.
Yeah, th those are great. I've tried those out before, and then you can stay in your chair. There's no transfer required.
Yeah.
But
Well,
can
and they're just easier to transport, I think, right? Like
Oh, totally.
I haven't played with one, but I'm pretty sure you could fit it in the back of a Subaru, right? Like,
oh, for sure.
yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, that's like one of the hardest things is transporting the track chair around. It's
Yeah,
like
I
you have
bet.
to load it into a truck and then or onto a trailer. And the van I have it, I can't pull it in a trailer with or anything. So I'm either taking two cars or transferring myself into a truck, which is not the easiest thing to do.
Yeah, that's a
Yeah.
lot of transfers.
Yeah.
Dustin, why don't you introduce yourself and then be great to hear more about what you have to share.
Yeah, hey everybody. Nice to see everyone. I'm sorry I'm late.
That's
Uh,
okay.
but yeah, so my name's Dustin Berg, and I'm the executive director of a nonprofit here in New Mexico called Global Opportunities Unlimited. Also, the short name's kind of Go Unlimited, and we do a bunch of different adaptive outdoor sports and recreation and hunting and fishing and trail projects and all the adaptive mountain biking and stuff. So we've been doing it since 2005, and I was really excited to be a part of this group because hunting is something I grew up doing. Like in my family, we just grew up bow hunting, and in New Mexico, which is where I'm at and where I'm from, we're kind of really blessed with some beautiful outdoor, big mountains, big country, and so that's something I've loved my whole life, and that's actually why I started the nonprofit because I was in a motorcycle accident in 2003, which caused paraplegia. So I use a wheelchair, and when I was wanting to get back outdoors and do things that I love to do, I met a bunch of other folks like me in support group, and just realized that there was a lot of us that were wanting to get out and do the things that we love to do, like fishing and hunting and biking and all these different things, skiing, right? So we started the nonprofit, and it's just kind of snowballed and grown since then. And kind of relative to like what we're talking about today, like hunting, one of the things we've done recently in the last few years is we've taken like our adaptive mountain biking program and kind of it's a natural overlap for like the hunting program. So we've started using like adaptive mountain bikes to be able to take people hunting and give them like the real experience, like the real experience or whatever, the true like nature experience where you get out. You're not like just hunting from a vehicle, which we've done plenty of that. Actually, it's crazy how successful you can be just hunting from a vehicle, but it's not the same at all as actually getting out and getting a few miles into the forest and away from everyone else. And whether you're successful at harvesting an animal or not is really like, you know, the old cliche. It's like really not what it's all about. Like it's great when it happens. The meat is fantastic if you love to cook it, which I do. Um, but the experience of being able to get out there is like incredible. So one of the bikes that I was actually just on a hunt November 8th, so like a couple weeks ago. And the bike that's my favorite bike to use when I do my hunts is the Reactive Adaptations Mako. It's a Mako Handcycle. Um, and I like that one because it's got full suspension. It's really quiet. It's got the throttle option. You can use like a crank assist, so you can crank it if you want, but you also have just a full-on throttle option. And the suspension is critical for getting out off the road, and it's really quiet, which is another essential thing for what we hunt out here. Is primarily mule deer and elk and antelope, and so yeah, they're pretty smart, cagey critters. They're very attuned to the sound and the smells, and you really got to be on it. But if you haven't seen the bike, well, I don't know if you could see this picture. So this was, where is my camera on this thing?
That's good. Yeah, kind of a little
Oh
bit.
yeah.
Can you guys see it?
Yeah.
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 You see the Mako? So it's the tadpole design. If you're not sure, or not like familiar with it, but it's 2 wheels in the front and 1 wheel in the back, and the drive wheel is in the back. So you get a lot of traction because the whole weight of the person sitting on the chair is basically sitting on that back wheel. So for going up inclines and getting over rocks and doing all of that stuff, we find that chair to be pretty capable.
With using that chair, have you guys ever done that with like higher level quads, or are you mostly taking like paraplegics out on those type of hunts?
So mostly just paraplegics.
Yeah.
But we recently just like Bowhead just came out with the Bowhead Ranger,
Yeah.
which is the 4-wheel one.
Yeah, so I was gonna say, not a wheelchair. I don't know if you've ever heard of those.
Yeah, I've heard of them.
They're
I've
like
got
they're 4 wheels as
rig.
well.
Yeah,
You're
they're
right.
coming out with another one too. I'm interested to see what the Rig 2.0 will be. But the Ranger, as Dustin, you were just saying, a little bit more adaptable for quads, but also the Mako has some hand adaptations for quads as well.
Yeah, I'm a C6. I've ridden the Mako, and I did it. I liked it. It was like very, very doable for me.
Yeah.
And I think I had the quad for the hand controls
Yeah.
So
wrist. I think it
we
was.
just bought one of the Bowhead Rangers, and it has like the quad grip. So we set that one up for quads because that's going to be like our device for that stuff.
Congrats
Yeah.
on getting
And
that.
is it
That's
like
awesome.
have you seen it? How your hands like fit in between like the grip bars that you can just turn and you can actuate the brakes and the throttle
Yeah.
that way?
Yeah, I've looked at
Is that
that
what
one.
you? Is that what was on the Mako, Diane?
Oh, yes, I believe so. Yeah.
Cool.
With like going out on one of those, how would you set it up for like a quad to shoot? Or would they have to be able to like hold the gun up and reach the trigger? Because like for me, I have to use one of those gun mounts right now, like one of those Be Adaptive equipment gun mounts that I can like aim with a joystick and use a sip and puff. But I've been trying to figure out ways to get on like one of those bikes and still be able to shoot. So I don't know if you guys have any ideas.
So we have one of those Be Adaptive sip and puff shooting mounts too. We've
Yeah.
never mounted it on a bike. We've just always shot from like a shooting range. But
Yeah.
and you know how everybody's so different. Like every person's different. So it's really like takes like fine tuning with each person. A lot of times what we use are just they're called trigger sticks. They're shooting sticks that are really easy to deploy.
Yeah.
But that helps with steadying your rifle, but it doesn't help with obviously with like actuating the trigger or seeing through the scope. Those little camera mounts, we found those things to be real handy for the scopes.
Yeah.
That has just a little screen that you can see what you can see through the scope. I could imagine that it wouldn't be too hard. I say too hard. It might be a little tricky, but to mount like something like the Be Adaptive, a portion of it to like the handlebars.
Yeah, they're
You
just
would.
so heavy to like lug around, you know?
Mm-hmm.
That, that's always been like my biggest struggle is lugging around that Be Adaptive gun mount. It just is bulky and strange, you know?
Yeah, yeah, that definitely could be a challenge. I certainly see that. Um, you know, yeah, that would be an interesting. That'd be fun to take on, but yeah, it would be a different thing than we've done when we've had someone like that. So I did take a quad elk hunting up here, and what we did was we set a blind up on a water hole
Yeah.
with that whole Be Adaptive setup, you know. So we had him in a blind in a water hole way back in the mountains, but not he wasn't maneuverable, right? Like,
Yeah. I actually was able to go elk hunting like back in mid-October and using my track chair, I was able to get like a mile and a half out into like the mountains and just find like a meadow, but it was just find a meadow and sit at it and just wait and hope something comes walking through, you know?
yeah, I mean, it's tough. Even like that Mako, we did an elk hunt during the rut when they're bugling,
Yeah.
and it was pretty epic. Like we had a great crew of people, and we got like 5 miles into the forest.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, we got people like moving logs and
Yeah, it takes a village to get out there, that's for sure.
yeah, it was pretty wicked cool. And so we had a crew of like we had 3 guys helping with the hunt, and they were the ones kind of doing that. But then when we got into the elk, like they're bugling and you're right in the heat of the mix, and it was still just a challenge to maneuver the Mako around and have it in the right spot, right where the elk are, keep the scent, be
Yeah.
downwind from. It's a tricky thing, uh, but that's the fun part, is just
Yeah.
going out and trying to
Oh, just getting out there
do all
and
that.
hearing them bugle is so special. And I mean, for me, on my elk hunt, I only had a bull tag and only ended up seeing cows, but just being able to like be back in the woods away from everything and just sitting there in nature was so nice just to even get to experience that again, you know?
Totally, man. Yeah, we weren't successful on that hunt, but we had like a couple times where we were set up and had a bull, a couple 100 yards away in the dark timber,
Yeah.
butte coming in, raking trees, and then seeing them. And then, of course, we're like pointed like this, and the bull's coming from
You
here.
got to turn 180 basically.
Yeah, trying to turn the bike. It's like, kind of chaotic,
Makes it a lot more
but it was
challenging, but it's fun.
super intense. Yeah, it was way fun.
You mentioned just like uh it takes a village and got to find the right people. What do you guys look for in um, either a hunting guide or support like volunteers or friends? What's important to look for in those people?
I mean, hunting guides. We use hunting guides that are also happen to be friends, but they do it, professionally. Um, and then just hunters. Like you have to have hunters that know what's going on, because there's so many things that they come natural to someone who's hunted a lot, but to someone that hasn't, it's just like there's a bunch of like rookie mistakes or whatever.
Mhm.
Yeah, and like for me, I've been fortunate. A bunch of my buddies I like grew up hunting with or like either taught how to hunt before my injury have always been super down to help out actually one of my PTs has been like really into hunting and super into helping Adaptive out. And he's actually in the process of trying to create a nonprofit to help get more people out like hunting and fishing and doing that kind of stuff. So in the process of getting that going, which is really cool.
Oh, that's awesome.
I found a couple awesome young guys that were also in the PT school here at the university, and they contacted us wanting to volunteer because they needed, some sort of credits for a project for their education, and they wanted to volunteer for hunting because they love to hunt anyway. So we kind of took them out and then realized like, oh, these young guys are like actually really good at it and they're super motivated, and now they've become like someone I can lean on. I actually just sent them like a couple weeks ago with a guy, and they went and helped him with an elk. And because you got to have someone to help even if you can go out there and maybe do it on your own, like harvest one, or shoot one, you can't really like feasibly load up an elk. Like that's crazy heavy. So even just like those guys, just having those young guys from the PT school, they're fantastic. So yeah, that if you're looking for a place, if you find someone that's like got the PT, inclination / hunting background, that's like
it's a good combo for sure.
Yeah.
Great. Totally.
Ryan, what about you? I'm interested since you're doing a little different type of hunting. What assistance do you need, or who do you bring along?
I mean, so it's usually friends, or if you do one of like the Missouri Disabled Sportsmen's kind of a situation, kind of what like Dustin's got going, where it's a nonprofit that specializes in that, and they'll you apply for one of the hunts, and then they set you up with a guide and volunteers and stuff, and then you can go out and do your thing. But yeah, I mean, either way, I mean, I think that the biggest thing is to just put the energy out there, especially if you've never done it or it's your first time doing it post injury. Just put the energy out there because somebody's eventually going to know somebody, right? Like, and especially if you just keep squawking about it, somebody's going to grease that wheel. So it's definitely intimidating to just be like, hey, I don't know how to do something, but I want to do it. But I think there's a lot of validity in just figuring it out. I mean, it's almost no different than any other aspect of living an adaptive lifestyle, right? Like it's, you know, you, you got to figure out there was a point in time when I didn't know how a car transfer worked, right? Like, but we sure as hell figured it out. So it's not a bad thing to not know how to do something. And I'm a big fan of throwing energy out there and seeing what comes back.
Great attitude to have. I like it.
I like that too.
Ben, I feel like we haven't chatted with you yet. How's it going?
Hey, it's good.
Good.
So I've never hunted, but I grew up in a hunting community. My dad hunts. I have a Grit Freedom Chair, a Free Will, and a Bowhead RX. So I'm assuming I could take one of those devices, like if I wanted to go hunting. I guess my thing is just like learning it would probably be the biggest challenge. I know how to shoot, like I've shot, rifles and shotguns and everything. I think that would be the thing I would have to like. Where do you set up? Getting salt blocks out, all that what gear to wear, what making sure you don't like make sure you have to don't smell too good. Like I guess all those things I would love to try that. But yeah, I've never hunted before, so I think it would be fun to try.
And
Just
I
a heads up, Ben. You can smell however you want if you go bird hunting. I don't care.
What about to answer those other questions? To any of the experienced hunters.
Which question?
What other questions did you have, Ben?
Oh, and then I guess like Dustin, how do we get in touch with your organization? If we wanted to come out and work with you all, do hunting, how often do you guys do it? When? Like, what part of the seasons are you open? Is there restrictions, things like that?
Yeah. So we don't do a whole lot of hunts, right? We kind of like our style is like quality over quantity when it comes to hunting. We do a lot of fishing, a lot of mountain biking, but when we do the hunts, we just do just a handful of them every year. Getting a tag out here is unfortunately really hard. Like we've got a lottery draw system, so you have to apply for a hunt in April. Then you have to get lucky and get drawn, which the odds are not in your favor. And then if you get drawn for a tag, then we can kind of proceed to helping
Okay.
set up a hunt. But you can keep track of us. Like our website is gounlimited.org. And then our Instagram is gounlimitednm at gounlimitednm.
But you said you do hunting, fishing and mountain biking though.
Yeah, a bunch of
That's
fishing and biking. Like we're building a ridiculous boat right now for fishing that's all handicap accessible. We've been doing that for like 20 years, but we just got a really good grant to build a boat that like fully outfitted, 30-foot long, 10-foot wide with a top deck and a chair to get people in and out of the water so you go swim and stuff too.
Oh, cool.
Yeah,
awesome.
Oh,
it's
that's
pretty
awesome.
cool.
Brian's a big fisher too.
Yeah,
Oh,
definitely. I've
come
been doing a
visit.
bunch of that.
Come out, man. We've got the
And
Bowhead
how
Ranger.
how often is your fishing?
So from April to October,
Okay.
we work with guides and have scholarships and stuff to help people pay for stuff that can't afford the fishing trips. So we can pretty much take people fishing almost any time. Yeah.
That's
And
awesome.
Ben and Brian and Ryan, if you're interested too, but anything for the first time, if you guys want to try something for the first time, I know that some of you guys are experienced with it, but if you'd like to do it, you can apply for a $500 scholarship to do something. A new
Oh, awesome.
So if you're interested in maybe trying out the Ranger to do that, you could justify
Is
that.
that a first time any adaptive thing?
Any adaptive sport, anything like a new activity.
Okay.
And is the scholarship different than like the grant proposals?
Yep. So it's a try it first scholarship with KBF, which
Gotcha.
KBF offers the $500 to go try something for the first time. And it sounds like Dustin also, they have scholarship opportunities as well. So
Yeah.
KBF would cover $500 towards flight, and then Dustin's scholarship can help out with other things. But we can help out with that $500 to try something for the first time. And then on addition, once you try something, you're more likely to get that grant. Then that's
Yeah,
the active fund, and that's the grant that you're going to.
totally.
And we've been like doing a bunch of cool stuff with the bikes, using them to go fish like high mountain streams, like fly fishing is a big thing we do.
Yeah.
So we've been using the bikes to get people into like these high mountain meadows and fish these little itty bitty creeks, but the creeks have these beautiful little native fish in them, and it's super cool.
Oh, that's awesome.
And then we have like drift boats for floating the river. The bigger rivers, there's a big river we drift boat and fly fish. Can do that too.
Dustin, where are you guys based out of in New Mexico?
So we're based out of Albuquerque, like central New Mexico.
Yep.
But we've got a lot of our fishing stuff is up in at Navajo Lake, which is northeast or northwest.
Gotcha.
Right on actually the lake goes into Colorado. It's like a 22-mile long lake
Okay.
with three different. And then the river that comes out of Navajo Lake is the San Juan River.
Yep.
And that's the one we fly fish.
Very cool.
And then northeast New Mexico, we're also set up over there for, we have another boat on this lake called Eagle Nest Lake. And that's our pontoon boat. So it's wheelchair accessible. It's not like as fancy as the new one we're building, but it's big. It's like 24 foot. All the furniture is removed off the front, so you can get around. That's a beautiful northern New Mexico is really pretty. Like little more mountains, a
Yeah.
little more water. Great biking over there around Eagle Nest and Angel Fire. So we'll bring the bikes up there too and ride a bunch of trails. And like there's a ski resort with downhill trails. We'll do Bowhead downhill stuff up there.
Yeah, very cool.
That's awesome to hear, Dustin.
Mm-hmm.
We're not a big popular state, but we got some pretty rad outdoor stuff for sure. You guys should come visit.
I always hear about you guys. Bruce is always raving. He's anyone that asks about hunting, he's like, go there.
Really?
Yeah, right away. So,
I love that.
Yeah.
And Dustin,
Bruce
when you guys are going hunting, are you going on mostly public land?
Yeah, mostly public.
That's awesome. That's
Yeah.
super cool.
Yeah, it's we've got tons, like millions of acres of public land. So
Yeah.
public land, there's plenty of it out here. Yeah, so we mostly just hunt public land. Oh, and I was gonna say about the tag stuff. So like getting a tag's really difficult right now, but one of the things I've been a contractor for our New Mexico Department of Game and Fish. So one of the things I am working on is to get something set up like Wyoming has. So Wyoming disabled hunters, if are any of you guys aware of them?
I'm not.
So Wyoming's got a pretty sweet program. If anybody's interested, like Ben was talking about just learning. A lot of people apply to go hunt in Wyoming, and they have like, I want to say 20 or 40 hunts every year. And they take kind of everybody with a like spinal cord injury, qualifies. And I've never done it, but it sounds like a sweet opportunity for someone, you know.
Super cool.
But they get tags that they have their process with their game and fish, their game department. They were able to get some of the tags that are donated back to the department that people aren't able to use and give them to people with disabilities. So that's how they've been able to furnish the tags that they need to provide their service, their hunting program. Because they're in the same kind of boat as New Mexico, where like elk and deer and antelope are all really highly sought after from, you know, the hunting industry has gotten ridiculous with how much money things are worth. So there are not enough tags for all the people that want to go. And so the people that do get tags can donate them back to Game and Fish if they can't use it. And then those people at Game and Fish can utilize nonprofits like Wyoming Disabled Hunter to redistribute those tags. And we do that currently in New Mexico, but the way our rules are written in our commission, we have to give the tags to first responders, veterans, or youth. So it's cool. We give them away to veterans and stuff, but we can't, I would love to help give some tags to folks like you guys and set hunts up. And so it is something we've been working on. It's just you get into politics at that point, you know?
Yeah, I know here in Colorado, they have like a set number of tags they have to hold for people with disabilities. And like they have a pretty good system. I don't know like everything about it, but from my experiences, like they hold tags, leftover tags for people with disabilities, and makes it a lot easier for us to get tags, you know, for deer, elk, and antelope, you know, which is really cool.
Is that where you're at, Brian? Colorado?
Yeah, I'm up in Vail, Colorado. So I'm not too far
Nice.
from New Mexico.
Yeah, beautiful part of Colorado, huh?
Yeah. Yeah, so I've been getting out hunting. I actually have a deer tag starting this coming up Monday. So I'm gonna get out,
Nice.
hopefully make something happen.
How do I keep up with you guys? Like, is there? I gave you guys my Instagram. Hopefully, you guys check it out, follow it, and then I'd like to like follow your guys's. Does everybody do like the Instagram or the?
Yeah.
Yeah. I just followed you from my personal and then also my my adaptive shooting profile as well.
Oh, okay. I got Brian. I got parachuting, and
That's
then
me.
probably the guy.
Well, yeah, those last two are me.
Nice.
That's wonderful.
Sweet.
Yeah, that's what it's all about, kind of just
Yeah.
getting connections within this community. I mean, there's so many good tips and suggestions out there, and that's what it's all about, is getting the right people connected together. So thank you guys for that.
Yeah, absolutely.
I agree. As much as like I'm terrible at social media, it is a great way for us to like be able to keep in touch. It makes it so easy, you know?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and even just stuff like this. Like I was actually thinking this week about how good of a job like our local like Missouri Disabled Sportsman does a good job of being able to have the volunteers and the like a calendar of things where they take 6 people out at a time, but there's no like community built around it, which I find is like a really big bummer, because it's like I think it'd be just really cool to be able to just be like, hey, who wants to go fishing or something? You just see something easy, outdoorsy, like that kind of thing. But you pretty much, because I even just thought about that with that is just like, man, like I'm part of a spinal cord support group here in St. Louis, and I don't think any of us have ever talked about it. And I'm sure somebody would love to try it. So it's just kind of one of those things. It's like we have some really good things, but they're also not like disability led, the kind of like how Dustin's would be, because I would imagine yours has like a community just baked into it because you're a part of the community already, and we just don't have that contact point. It's pretty like cut and dry. If you want to do it, you apply for it. You don't really ever talk to anybody until you get selected, kind of thing. So I think stuff like this of being able to figure out who to talk to and just even where to start. Because I know for a fact there's probably people that look at those hunts and go, well, I don't know what I'm doing. Why would I apply for it if I don't know what I need to do it? So it's nice to be able to have that contact of, hey, how do I do this?
Yeah. I think that's also really essential, kind of having these connections as we build the communities in different rural areas and also just other communities that really need to be built upon. It's nice to have those connections. So when we're working with rehab facilities or we meet new people at camps, it's always nice to be like, hey, I know this person in Missouri that you could reach out to. So thanks for being on this call and putting yourself out there to kind of share all these opportunities. It definitely helps such a larger community in itself. So KBF, and we all appreciate it. So
And when we post this to our YouTube channel, we'll post your IG if that's okay, in the like caption, so people can reach out.
Yeah, that
Uh,
would be awesome. And adding on to that, I was saying earlier, my PT buddy that's helped me out hunting is starting a nonprofit to kind of do a lot of the same things that it sounds like Dustin is doing. And his nonprofit's called Rugged Access. He's like literally just got it going this week.
does he have a website yet?
Not a website. He's got an Instagram page
Oh, he does. Okay.
called Rugged Access, and I've kind of been like helping him out with that, and we're trying to get the ball moving to hopefully get people out doing some of the adventurous things that are harder for a lot of us to find, you know?
well,
Is
Yeah.
it Rugged Access Project?
Yeah, that should be it.
Okay. I'll post that in the chat so you guys have it too.
Yeah, and I'm game to help too, Brian. Like if there's
Yeah.
anything since, if you guys have questions, like we've been doing 20 years,
Yeah,
would love to help.
I was gonna
I'd
ask
love
you
to,
that
Good
if
to see you,
yeah,
Ben.
because I want to come up there, man, and go and do some fun stuff up there with you.
yeah, that'd be cool. I was gonna ask you before we got out if I could share my contact with you. So after this, when we both got free time, we could chat more about it because me and my buddy Justin would definitely have a lot of questions for you.
Yeah, for sure. Let's link up. I'm trying to figure out, like I said, I'm terrible at this thing. What are we connected, Brian, on Instagram?
My Instagram is bry, BRY dot fly.